Here, on a small cluster of islands and a sliver of mainland, a truly remarkable habitat has emerged. It is a place of stark contrasts, where ancient traditions meet the relentless march of the future. This is a city built not outwards but upwards, a vertical jungle of steel and glass that pierces the subtropical sky. Its inhabitants, millions strong, have adapted to a life of extraordinary density. Their existence a constant, intricate dance between nature and human ingenuity. The air hums with a unique energy, a fusion of commerce, culture, and the quiet, persistent whispers of the wild that still clings to the edges of this concrete metropolis. We have come here to observe this unique ecosystem, to understand the forces that have shaped it, and the remarkable creatures that call it home. From the dizzying heights of its man-made peaks to the teeming waterways that are its lifeblood, this is a world where every square inch is precious, every moment optimized. The story of this place is one of survival, of ambition, and of a relentless drive to thrive against the odds. It is a testament to the sheer adaptability of life, in one of its most intense and spectacular forms. So, join me, as we journey into the heart of this vertical world. We will explore its hidden canyons, witness the daily rituals of its inhabitants, and uncover the secrets of how this extraordinary urban ecosystem functions. The challenges here are immense, the pressures constant, but the spirit of this place and its people is a force of nature in itself. This is the story of Hong Kong, a city like no other on Earth. In the grand tapestry of our planet, some locations, despite their modest size, exert a disproportionate influence. They become epicenters, drawing in resources, energy, and life, and projecting their power far beyond their physical borders. This city is one such place. A tiny archipelago, a mere speck on the world map. Yet it has grown into a financial titan, a colossal engine driving the economic currents of an entire continent. Its story is one of geography and destiny, inextricably linked. The land itself is unforgiving. Steep volcanic hills dominate the landscape, leaving precious little flat ground for settlement. This fundamental constraint has dictated the city's entire evolutionary path. Unable to expand outwards, it had only one direction to go: up. And so began one of the most ambitious construction projects in human history. A relentless vertical ascent that continues to this day, creating a skyline that is both breathtaking and a stark symbol of its spatial predicament. This verticality defines life here. The vast majority of its inhabitants live in high-rise towers, their homes stacked one upon another in a complex three-dimensional matrix. It is a world of elevators and escalators, of views that stretch for miles, and of a proximity to one's neighbors that is almost unparalleled. This dense vertical living has forged a unique psychology, a collective adaptation to a life lived in the sky. The city's very structure is a marvel of engineering and planning. It operates like a living organism, with arteries of transport and communication pumping life through its concrete veins. Below the towering office blocks and residential complexes lies a subterranean world of interconnected metro stations and shopping malls. A city beneath the city, designed to keep its millions of inhabitants moving efficiently, regardless of the weather or the time of day. Even its emblem speaks to this unique identity. The bauhinia flower, a plant native to these hills, is rendered in stark white against a field of red. 5 stars, embedded in its petals, signify a connection to a larger whole, yet its distinct form asserts a separate identity. It is a symbol of a place that is both part of something bigger and fiercely, uniquely itself, a delicate flower thriving in a concrete world. This uniqueness is enshrined in its very foundation. It operates under a framework that grants it freedoms unheard of in the surrounding lands. A separate legal system, a distinct currency, and an open, free market economy have been the cornerstones of its success. These principles have acted like a powerful magnet, attracting talent, capital, and ambition from across the globe, fueling its relentless growth. It is a global nexus, a place where East truly meets West, not just in culture but in commerce. The world's financial institutions have established their regional strongholds here, turning the city into a vast clearinghouse for international trade and investment. The flow of capital through its exchanges is like a mighty river, shaping fortunes and influencing economies thousands of miles away. The result is a hyper-condensed microcosm of the globalized world. In a single city block, one can find the headquarters of a multinational bank, a traditional noodle shop that has been in the same family for generations, a luxury fashion boutique, and a bustling wet market selling live seafood. This juxtaposition of the global and the local, the modern and the traditional, is the very essence of the city's character. The pressure of this density is palpable. It is in the crowded streets, the packed trains, the constant hum of activity that never seems to cease. Space is the ultimate luxury, a commodity more precious than gold. Every decision, from the design of an apartment to the layout of a public park, is dictated by the need to maximize the use of every available square inch. This has fostered a culture of incredible efficiency and resourcefulness. The inhabitants have become masters of adaptation, finding ingenious ways to carve out personal space and a sense of community within the towering vertical landscape. They have learned to live in close quarters, to navigate the crowds, and to thrive in an environment that would overwhelm many. Yet, as one stands on a quiet peak, looking down upon the sprawling metropolis, a question inevitably arises. This intricate, high-stakes experiment in urban living is a marvel, but it is also a pressure cooker. The forces that hold it together are immense, but so are the stresses it endures. It is a delicate balance, a vertical ecosystem on the edge. The sheer scale of it can be difficult to comprehend. Millions of individual lives, each with their own hopes, dreams, and struggles, playing out in this stacked, vertical world. It is a testament to human resilience, but it also prompts a moment of personal reflection, a consideration of our own relationship with the space we inhabit and the communities we are part of. How long do you think you could live in a city where space is so compressed, where the horizon is not a distant line of land, but the building across the street? It is a profound question about the nature of home and the limits of our own adaptability. And which city are you watching this video from? In any ecosystem, the roles of individuals are crucial for the survival and prosperity of the whole. Here, in this vertical city, a remarkable social dynamic has taken hold. The female of the species is not just a participant in the daily struggle for survival. In many ways, she has become its primary engine, a driving force of immense power and influence, shaping the very character of this urban habitat. Walk through the central business district, the city's economic heart, and you will see them. They move with a purpose and confidence that is striking. Dressed in the sharp attire of the corporate world, they command boardrooms, lead teams, and broker deals that ripple across the globe. They are bankers, lawyers, entrepreneurs, and executives, occupying positions of power and responsibility in numbers rarely seen elsewhere. This is not a recent phenomenon, but the culmination of a long social evolution. With the city's focus on service, finance, and logistics, the traditional barriers that might have existed in more industrial economies fell away. Brainpower, not manpower, became the most valuable commodity, and in this arena, the female inhabitants have proven to be formidable competitors and leaders. Their presence has fundamentally altered the city's social landscape. The traditional family structures have been reshaped, as women pursue careers with the same, if not greater, intensity as their male counterparts. Independence is not just an aspiration. For many, it is a reality. They are financially self-sufficient, highly educated, and in control of their own destinies. But this ascent has come at a cost. The city demands a relentless pace. The working hours are notoriously long, stretching late into the night. The pressure to perform, to succeed, to constantly stay ahead, is immense. This leaves little time for a personal life, for leisure, or for the traditional pursuits of family and relationships. A quiet battle is waged daily against exhaustion. The high cost of living adds another layer of pressure. With property prices among the highest in the world, the dream of owning a home is a distant one for many. This economic reality further fuels the drive to work harder, to earn more, creating a self-perpetuating cycle of ambition and stress. For many women, their formidable income is consumed by the equally formidable cost of simply living here. This has forged a generation of women who are incredibly resilient, resourceful, and self-reliant. They navigate the complexities of corporate politics and the challenges of urban life with a practiced ease. They have built strong networks of friends and colleagues, creating new forms of community to replace the traditional family unit, finding support in shared ambition and experience. The dating landscape, too, has been transformed. Traditional courtship rituals seem antiquated in a city that runs on efficiency. Relationships are often fitted in around demanding work schedules. The independence of these women can be intimidating to some, yet it is also a source of great attraction. They are partners who are equals in every sense of the word. They are the city's pulse. In the morning, they pour into the metro systems, a river of determined energy flowing towards the city's core. During the day, their decisions and actions fuel the financial markets. In the evening, they fill the restaurants and bars, a brief respite before the cycle begins anew. Their collective energy is a tangible force. This demanding lifestyle shapes their entire being. There is a directness, an efficiency in their communication and actions. Time is a precious resource, not to be wasted. This can be misinterpreted as abruptness, but it is simply an adaptation to an environment where every minute counts. They are optimized for the habitat they dominate. Observing them, one sees a fascinating evolutionary story playing out in real time. Social norms and biological imperatives are being renegotiated in the face of overwhelming economic and environmental pressures. The female of this urban species is adapting, evolving, and in doing so, she is redefining what it means to be a woman in the modern world. It is a life of immense achievement, but also of quiet sacrifices. The view from the corner office is spectacular, but it can also be a lonely one. The financial rewards are great, but the personal costs can be high. It is a tightrope walk, a constant balancing act between professional ambition and personal fulfillment. Do you think you can keep up with that pace of life? A world where work is not just a job, but a total commitment, a defining identity. And would you like to date a young independent woman from Hong Kong? A partner who is your equal in ambition and drive? If yes, leave a 2 in the comments below. In a habitat defined by extreme density and a relentless pace, efficiency is the key to survival. Wasted time is a fatal flaw, a disruption to the delicate rhythm of the urban machine. Here, an extraordinary system has evolved, a piece of technology that touches almost every aspect of daily life, ensuring that the city's pulse never falters. It is a simple plastic card, but its impact is, honestly, just profound. They call it the Octopus, a name that is surprisingly apt. Its tentacles reach into every corner of the city, a single unified system for countless daily transactions. It is the key to the transport network, granting access to trains, buses, ferries, and trams with a simple, instantaneous tap. There is no fumbling for change, no waiting for a ticket. The flow of people is seamless, uninterrupted, but its reach extends far beyond public transport. This single card is a wallet, a key, and an identity. It pays for groceries at the supermarket, a coffee at the cafe, a meal at a fast food restaurant. It operates vending machines, pays for parking, and even grants access to residential buildings and schools. The friction of daily commerce has been almost entirely eliminated. This optimization has a deep, almost subconscious effect on the city's inhabitants. They have adapted to a life of instant transactions. The briefest of pauses, the slightest of delays, can feel like a major disruption. A culture of immediacy has been fostered, where everything is expected to happen now. Patience, in many contexts, has become a forgotten virtue. Observe the flow of people through a metro station during rush hour. It is a human river, moving with incredible speed and purpose. The tap of the Octopus card at the gate is a barely perceptible gesture, a flick of the wrist. The sound is a constant, high-frequency beep beep, beep, the city's technological heartbeat, a rhythm that everyone marches to. This quest for efficiency is visible everywhere. Escalators are calibrated to move faster than in other parts of the world. Pedestrian walkways have designated lanes for walking and standing to maximize throughput. Even the verbal shorthand used in local eateries is a form of optimization, conveying complex orders in the fewest possible syllables. Every second is shaved, every process streamlined. The people have become masters of this high-speed existence. They walk fast, talk fast, and eat fast. A typical lunch break is a study in temporal efficiency, a meal consumed in minutes before rushing back to the demands of the office. There is a collective understanding that to slow down is to fall behind, to disrupt the flow not just for oneself, but for everyone else. This constant forward momentum is a powerful force. It drives the city's economic productivity and contributes to its dynamic, energetic atmosphere. It is the software that runs on the hardware of the city's dense infrastructure. The technology and the culture have become intertwined, each reinforcing the other in a feedback loop of perpetual acceleration. Yet, this relentless optimization raises a critical question. In a system designed to eliminate every pause, to smooth out every moment of friction, what is lost? The small, unplanned interactions that occur when people are forced to wait, the moments of quiet observation, the simple act of being present without a goal-oriented purpose. Does the city's operating system leave any room for its inhabitants to simply stop? To breathe, to reflect, to disconnect from the ever-present demand for speed and efficiency? The parks and hiking trails that fringe the city offer an escape, but for many, the mindset of optimization is carried with them even into these natural sanctuaries. The Octopus Card is a symbol of this paradox. It is a marvel of convenience, a tool that makes a difficult life more manageable. But it is also an instrument of acceleration, a constant reminder that time is a resource to be managed with ruthless efficiency. It grants freedom of movement, but perhaps at the cost of the freedom to be still. This is the central tension of life in this vertical jungle. The same systems that enable the city to function at such an incredible scale and density also create an environment of immense pressure. The inhabitants are both masters and servants of this optimized world, benefiting from its efficiency while being subject to its relentless demands. When everything is optimized to avoid slowing down, do the people in that city still have a chance to stop? It is a question that hangs in the humid air, a quiet counterpoint to the constant beeping rhythm of the Octopus Card. A question about the true cost of a life without friction. In this ecosystem, the ultimate measure of value, the most fiercely contested resource, is not food, nor water, nor even shelter in the traditional sense. It is something far more mundane, yet in this context, utterly extraordinary. It is space, the raw, physical area in which to exist. And nowhere is this scarcity more shockingly apparent than in the quest for a place to park a car. The numbers are so extreme they border on the absurd. A single, designated rectangle of concrete, a space designed merely to store a vehicle when not in use, can command a price that would purchase a luxury apartment or even a sprawling family home in many other major cities around the world. It is a fact that strains credulity, a stark illustration of the city's unique economic pressures. This is the brutal calculus of a city built on a sliver of land. With millions of people and their possessions crammed into a finite area, every square foot has a price tag. And as the city has grown wealthier, the demand for the convenience of a private vehicle has clashed with the immovable reality of spatial constraints, creating a market of astonishing extremes. For the vast majority of the city's inhabitants, owning a car is an unimaginable luxury, not because of the cost of the vehicle itself, but because of the impossible expense of storing it. The monthly rent for a parking spot can exceed the mortgage payment on a small apartment. It is a form of hyper-capitalism, where the most basic spatial needs are subject to ferocious market forces. This has profoundly shaped the city's relationship with the automobile. Unlike in many other developed nations, the car is not a symbol of freedom or a rite of passage. It is the ultimate status symbol, a declaration of wealth so significant that it places its owner in a tiny elite fraction of the population. To own a parking space is to own a piece of the city itself. The city's infrastructure has evolved in response. The public transportation system is one of the most efficient and widely used on the planet, not just by choice, but by necessity. The government actively discourages private car ownership through high taxes and registration fees, a deliberate policy to prevent the city from seizing up in a permanent state of gridlock. Yet, the demand persists. In the gleaming residential towers that cater to the city's wealthiest, the acquisition of a parking space is a transaction as significant as the purchase of the apartment itself. These spaces are traded like commodities, their values rising and falling with the fortunes of the property market, their prices reported in the financial pages alongside stocks and bonds. The stories have become legendary. A single parking bay selling for a sum that equates to hundreds of thousands, even millions of US dollars. It is a headline that never fails to shock the outside world. But for the residents of this city, it is simply the logical, if painful, outcome of their spatial reality. It is the price of convenience in the world's most vertical city. This reality impacts daily life in countless ways. It dictates where people can live, how they commute, and how they spend their leisure time. The simple act of driving to visit a friend or go to a restaurant involves a complex calculation of parking availability and cost. For many, it is easier and more logical to simply leave the car at home if they are fortunate enough to have one. The physical spaces themselves are a study in efficiency. Multi-story car parks descend deep into the earth or climb high into the air. Complex mechanical systems like giant puzzles shuffle cars into impossibly tight spaces, maximizing the use of every cubic inch. Here, even the storage of a vehicle is a high-tech, high-density affair. It is a humbling reminder of the fundamental laws of supply and demand. In an environment of extreme scarcity, the value of a resource can become disconnected from its intrinsic worth. A simple patch of ground, unremarkable in any other context, is transformed by its location into an asset of incredible value. This phenomenon forces us to reconsider our own relationship with space and ownership. It highlights the hidden subsidies and assumptions that underpin car culture in other parts of the world, where the availability of cheap or free parking is often taken for granted. In this city, the true cost of that convenience is laid bare for all to see. The shocking price of parking is more than just a curious economic footnote. It is the ultimate expression of the city's core challenge, the relentless, unending competition for space. It is a single stark data point that encapsulates the immense pressures and the extraordinary adaptations that define life in this vertical world. Our journey through this vertical jungle has revealed a world of profound contradictions. It is a city that reaches for the sky, yet is defined by its lack of space. A place of immense wealth, where the cost of a simple parking spot can be staggering. An ecosystem that runs on unparalleled efficiency, yet pushes its inhabitants to the very limits of their endurance. It is a testament to the human capacity for adaptation, a living laboratory for the future of urban life on a crowded planet, a future that may already be here. The forces at play are immense. The gravitational pull of global finance, the unyielding constraints of geography, and the relentless pressure of millions of lives lived in close proximity. Yet, what one remembers most is not the steel or the concrete, but the resilience of the life within it. The determined energy of the women driving its economy, the collective rhythm of a populace adapted to a life of speed, and the quiet dignity of navigating a world where every inch is contested. This is the city's true strength, its enduring spirit. As we pull away, the skyline recedes into the haze, its jagged peaks a final, powerful image. Hong Kong is more than a city, it is a force of nature, a complex, dynamic, and ever-evolving ecosystem. It asks difficult questions about our own lives, our own cities, and the future we are collectively building. It is a story of survival and ambition, written in light and shadow against the subtropical sky, a story that will continue to unfold long after we have gone.